Well, how about the USA soccer team advancing to the round of 16 and playing a man down for the majority of the second half? And so that was pretty cool. Sorry, I'm not here early this morning, but sometimes when I stay up late watching sporting events and get a little wound up by that, it's hard to fall asleep. And I like to try to get 8 hours of sleep every night. So came close last night. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going in to get my teeth worked on and hopefully get the beginning stages of my new teeth that I got coming to me. Um, let's get up here and see what's going on. So I'm not going to be on here very long with you guys this morning. As a matter of fact, right after the market opens by 10 o'clock, I'm going to have to be done. So it's not going to be a day of trading for me today, unfortunately. But we are looking at a few stocks here this morning, and want to thank you all for being here with me. Now, first off, I want to make sure everyone knows, for my disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. I do not profess to have any special knowledge, but I have been trading for about 26 years now, and that gives me a little bit of insight about the market and things to look for. And what I show people here is, and we work as a group. There's a whole bunch of people here that will be shouting out stocks this morning. They probably already have stocks that are on their scanners and on their radar, and they've got software tools that they're using that help them focus on stocks taking off. So that we're gonna get a shout out of probably another 25 or 30 stocks today to take a look at. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to be here other than to look at them in the pre-market and maybe make a move, and then I'll sell them at my dentist chair, which I have done before. Uh, yeah, about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I got on a stock with everybody in the afternoon, and it was probably around 1:30 or 2 o'clock when I ended the show and got to the dentist's office, sat down in the chair, decided to look over my stocks, and the one that we had bought was up like, I mean, it just exploded. So I asked my dentist if he wouldn't mind if I'd start streaming from the dentist chair, and he said, "No, no problem. Go ahead." So I started streaming right there live, and I told everybody, "Hey guys, I'm up, and to let you know that stock we bought this morning is right now skyrocketed. It's up. I don't know how much it was up. I think it was about 40%." And I said, "So let's sell some here." So from my dentist chair, I was streaming, and he was cool with that because I plugged his office and his business and said, "Hey, this is a good, reliable place to come." So anyway, I'll be seeing my dentist today, and maybe we'll have another stock like that we get into early this morning after we look them up, and then it shoots up while I'm in my dentist chair. So Marsh 07, huh? I'm first. Good morning. All right. Jayhawk, good morning, everyone. May we all have a blessed day. Good morning, everyone. Yes, Jayhawk, also, I know you felt a little bit bad thinking that I got a little something hanging from my hat here. What the heck is this? All right. Uh, and Jayhawk, that call you called out yesterday, JEM, was an awesome stock. And I know a lot of people got in on it and made good money on it because they sold it. Hopefully, they sold it when I was shouting, "Let's sell it now! Let's sell it!" when it was in the 11s. So, what I want to know this morning, I'm curious. Uh, I'm going to do a little question here, and let's do a question. And here we go. I want to know: Did you sell? What I want to know is, did you sell JEM yesterday when it was in the tens and $11 range? That's what I want to know. So I'm going to come over here And did you sell JEM when I was selling in the high tens? Uh, hey, what happened there? In the high tens and low 11s. That's what I want to know. Question mark. In the high tens and low 11s. That's what I want to know. Yes or no? Start poll. All right. So we started a poll here. I know, and it doesn't even interesting. I knew something was weird about that poll. Did you sell JEM when I was selling in the high tens and low 11s? Well, as you might have noticed last night, it was up 40% in after hours, and I hope you sold then, uh, because I was on and everybody we were talking, and I said, "Hey, this thing's up 40% right now. You should sell it." Now, of course, my silly paper money account doesn't allow me to trade in the after hours, which really stinks because my account would have so much more right now. My paper money account would have so much more in it if they allowed for trading in after hours. It would have so much more. And I got to get this light fixed here. Hold on a second here. Why it wants to. There we go. There. Hopefully it will stay up there and not come crashing down. Whoa. Come on, baby. Get in there and stay. It wants to be a booger. And it doesn't want to stay where I want it to stay. I think that'll work good there. All right, let me look up here. Holy cow, look at all the chat up here this morning already. Wow. That's what it was supposed to say. I got you. Good morning, everyone. May we all have a blessed day today. Yes. Jayhawk's calling out USDE. All right. DSY. SURG. Okay. LIMN. YRD. All right. All right. EVCM. Okay. Dogs dogs with fleas this morning. Bad activity this morning. Too early, I guess, leading into a 3-day weekend, maybe. Well, right now it's going to be a 4-day week for me because I've got to leave today. And I found out that if I leave my stream running for you guys to be able to chat in the stream, and this is what I tried to do uh, night before last. I tried to let my stream just keep going while I went upstairs and had something to eat, and then I'd come back down, and my stream was shut off. So I'm not sure necessarily that it might be a good idea to do that because I guess the problem that happens is that there's no one like if Gary Inwards isn't in here or someone else that's a moderator, then people can they can say things that YouTube doesn't want said, and so then that gets the channel shut off. I guess I don't know. I've never had it happen before, but I tried to let it stream while I wasn't sitting here, and it said back in at 7 o'clock, and it shut my stream off. YouTube, I guess somebody might have said something. I don't know. But at any rate, let's get on up here and make sure we look at all these. PLTR is still climbing this morning after yesterday's merger news. BMNR is still moving this morning. All right. Jeffy Guru. Got it. And SDOT. All right. Would have been a good buy in the aftermarket last night. Jayhawk. Yep. That is crazy for such an expensive stock to keep climbing like this. Yeah. Well, not a tech stock. Yep. I told my wife about SDOT activity the last 3 days. She questioned my manhood. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Yes. Yes, Nisi Jane, good morning to you. AIRJ, what do you think? I'll let you know here in a little bit. Jayhawk, 97.55 thousand. Jayhawk, yeah, like I Air Jordan goat. And no, that's not a stock. Let me look at it again. I looked at it yesterday, I believe. Cobra 32, good morning. Good morning to you. Uh, Jeffy Guru, no aftermarket volume. All the analysis have higher prices on it. The low price analyst $6. The next highest 8.15, and then 12. Okay. Uh, information is coming from Webull. Jayhawk, which stock? You shouted out one, two, three, four, five, six stocks, and now you're saying it. 97,050, 97.55 thousand shares is short interest. 1 day to cover. Okay. So Jayhawk, going back to the beginning, you called out USDE, DSY, SURG, LIMN, YRD, and EVCM. I saw all those. Then you said, good morning, Jeff. And then I look down here and you say, would have been a good buy in the aftermarket last night. And I don't know if you're responding to SDOT still active or what stock. Okay. Then Jeffy Guru is saying no aftermarket volume. Uh, Jayhawk, all the analysts have higher prices, but on what stock? 406 million shares, short interest, day and a half to cover. You still need more investors to get a squeeze, right, Jeffy Guru? Are you talking about Jack? Yeah, AIRJ. Okay, 47% by institutions. Got it. Jeffy Guru says it sounds good for a long play. Looks like they just bought another 75,000 shares. I don't know when. Thank you. And analysts say it's a strong buy, but I don't know. Thanks for your input. Yep, Lisa Jane. Jeffy Guru, BTBT is making noise. I've traded the stock before. It looks like algos are fighting each other. BTBT, got it. Jeffy Guru, got it. All right. LHAI. Two calling out CWD. Okay, got it. JINX. I don't think I'm going to get in on a stock jinxed. I'll look at it though. Okay. uh, Jay, pinch poke, owe me a Coke. Up here, it's Jinx, show me a Pepsi. Isn't that interesting? Jeffy Guru, nice first trade. Starting green. Yeah. Jack is Jack in the box. It's become the new mem stock on Reddit. It's still very cheap, a super high percentage of the float shorted and very low float. Shorts could get squeezed very easily. All right. Hey, R. Richie B, your shirt should be getting to you any moment now. All right. All right. Jeffy Guru, I used to work there. Richie B, love the spicy chicken sandwich and butter milk dressing. Morning cat and take members. Hello there, Mark Lucas. Power move, trading in the dentist chair. Yeah. Yep. Our Richie B says, I remember that. Connor says, it's scary to look at, but EDBL. All right. Edible. All right. Let's get up here. Ah. GMEX doing the reverse split. Okay. All right. Thanks, Jayhawk. One forward split, CRWD. Got it? And what about just setting up the next stream for tomorrow and then we can still talk? That might be a possibility too. Yeah, that's good. Oh, markets are closed tomorrow for July 4th holiday. I told you I would make a great sergeant of arms, Catfish. Yes. Hello, Babber. WTW. Hello, Babber. What cackless this? What cackless this? Jayhawk, the enforcer. WW, I'm sorry I don't get your lingo. I'm an old man. I'm not up with what the word KAK is. I was responding to Nisi Jane about AIRJ. Got it. All right. And then Jayhawk says S dot would have been a good buy in the aftermarket. And that's what I thought. I looked up there and I saw the one comment was about S dot. And you said would have been a good buy last night. Jayhawk, I'm known as the Terminator on YouTube. Jinx is in the stock. Jinx, pinch, poke. Yes. Jeffy Guru. Your thoughts on any chance JM will go up anytime soon? Wondering if I should sell at a loss and move on. Um, well, here's the thing. Yes, that stock has definitely got a lot of attention on it still. Very interesting how they ran it down all day long, and then in 15 minutes in the after hours, it was up 40%. And I told everybody that that's probably what's going to happen with this stock. I said it's a shame that they won't let me sell it on my paper money account after the market closes because I had bought so many shares. Looking at this shirt that I'm wearing right now, uh, yes, this shirt when it comes to you delivered will have Catfish DNA. It's actually a mark from the bleach. So this shirt has permanently got a bleach mark on it, and it looks like sweat. So I just wanted to make sure you knew that uh, that's what it was. I haven't been sweating it out this morning, but I did sweat it out here yesterday afternoon. That's for sure. Uh, let's get on up here. Teddy, yes, I'm trading live right now. We're trading live. We'll be trading live, Teddy. It's Memorex. NFP and unemployment at 8:30. Gotcha. Rudiggity. The markets are closed tomorrow for 4th of July. Alexa, is the stock market closed tomorrow for the 4th of July?
This might answer your question. There aren't any initial public offerings on July 3rd, 2026 and July 4th, 2026.
That is hardly relevant. Oh, goodness gracious. Alexa, is the New York Stock Exchange open tomorrow?
New York Stock Exchange is closed tomorrow due to Independence Day.
There you go. So we're going to get off today to go and get my dentist appointment taken care of, and I won't be able to trade with you today. I might be able to come on late this afternoon, but what we're going to do is this morning, these are the stocks that have been called out this morning. So we're going to take a look at these. and see how they pan out. Um, CWD, okay. Well, someone called out CRWD doing the forward split, so we'll look at CWD as well. Jayhawks. All right. So let's go see which of these stocks are doing the best right now this morning. And we can see certainly that JEM, they're really working it right now in regards to JEM. And we're going to take a look at the charts right now. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. So you can see they're trying to take it to the limit. They've already had a resistance level of a low right here twice, and they've broken through that resistance now, coming back in time. And I want to take a look at this and see, is there any other, and again, last night, uh, had I had an option to, would have sold because this was up 40% in the after hours. JEM. And I know a lot of people were still on here streaming with me. There was about 50 or so people with me last night when this thing went up 40%. And I hope that you sold it. Unfortunately, paper money doesn't allow me to buy and sell it. And I had not bought any of it with my actual real account, as you all know, or maybe you don't know, but I did not buy it with my real account. I only bought this stock with paper money. And it stunk because last night this thing went up 40% in after hours, and Charles Schwab does not let you trade in after hours. So I was up and I couldn't sell it. And this would be the reason for uh, my account not having as much money in it as it normally has, because last night I was up on this thing and I could have sold it. And in fact, yesterday morning I did sell it when it was at its high in the high tens and the low 11s. So look at this, folks. This stock was in the high tens and low 11s yesterday. And now you could buy it at 309 a share here in the pre-market. Okay. 309 a share is where it is right now. 309. And I think that's a good entry point. I really do. 308, of course, is always a number where I like to buy. And so this stock right here, I'm going to put a line right there where they just took the low down to. And let's find out what that low means to them. Is it on the 5-day? Ah, there we go. Yeah. So they've been lower than that. But this is where they are right now. And that price is 313. 313, folks. You see that, Savannah? And just so you know, this stock has definitely been in this region before. And it's very familiar with this number, by the way. And there's no, there could be no argument of this has been here at this range numerous times. And I'm going to show you right now. There it is. This line right here, this line, $3.13, folks. All right. And look at how many times they've been there. Once there, once there, once there. And now they're at this line right here. Look at the bottom of that satchel. Look at the bottom of that satchel before they shot that thing through the roof. And you don't think that'd be a favorite place for them to work the price down to again? Right there, folks. Now listen, I provide, you decide, okay? All I'm doing is showing you that this line right here, right now, where they are right now, has been a very common low number from which they're working off of, as you can clearly see. Okay. And here they are revisiting this line again, the same as they did here. One more shot at it, folks. And every single time it's been at this line, this has been a line of resistance to the rise, resistance to the rise, resistance to the drop. And again, will we see resistance to the drop like we did here? It's just a question, folks. I'm asking you. You can decide what to do with this information. The stock I'm talking about is JEM. JEM. That's the stock. And let me tell you, folks, this is all over Wall Street Bets 2 days ago. Heavy uh, bullish sentiment. Very heavy bullish sentiment on Wall Street Bets, but also highly manipulated when it is. And so you just look and you see that line right there, and you notice that it was resisted against rising there, resisted against rising, heavy resistance against falling at midday, lunchtime low, folks. JEM. This is closing low as they try to splash the close. And then final chance at this. Take notice the 50-day average was up here when it touched this line. And now the 50-day is very close to this. The 200 is above, by the way. The over here, when this was resistance right here to the run up and resistance to the run up there, look where the 200 was. And look where the 50-day was. When this was resistance to the rise, look where the 200 and look where the 50 were. Then it becomes resistance to the drop because look where the 50 is and look where the 200 rose to. Then it becomes resistance to the drop because look where the freaking 50 is and look where the 200 is. Wow. And here again, resistance to the drop with the 50 above and the 200 way above. I'm just telling you, the likelihood of it continuing to fall below this line will be very slim. Okay. Considering that when it was here before, it spiked all the way to there. And when it was here, it spiked there. So the chances are it's going to spike off this again. The odds are based on history, based on the fact that when it was resistance here and resistance here, the 200 was down here and the 50 was here. So this is just my perspective, folks. You can just watch and see what happens with it. But my call is with the 200 up above and the 50 up above, the weight of those averages, even though currently they look like they're falling, you better look at the long term chart and see what they're doing. Look at the 180-day chart. Does that 200-day moving average right there, does that look like it's falling? Does this 50-day look like it's falling? No, it's just holding up under pressure of the robbery we're going on here in pre-market. And by the way, look how low it was, and look how this candlestick has already retraced up to here. So this thing's already reached its previous bottom and its previous resistance there. And they sat the candlestick on it there, sat this candlestick on it there. There's the last time for that line, in my opinion. And I think this thing is going to be very, very interesting today to watch and monitor. I think it's going to be a great day trader. Again, I think it's going to be a great day trader. JEM. And to think that everybody's eyes are no longer on this, I would disagree highly because of what happened last night in the after hours when it spoke. Folks, look at this stock, man. It was at 12.95. It was at 12.95. JEM. JEM stock has given up its prior gain. Holdings were trading higher after the company announced approval by its board of directors to begin exploring a new generation digital platform that harnesses artificial intelligence, blockchain traceability, and crypto payment technology. Now, they haven't done anything yet, but I tell you what, I do know that I did my research on this, and I found out that the Reddit group is all over this stock, and they're very bullish on this stock. Now, just because they are, that would mean that many would want to get in as low as they can on it. And I believe this is a good entry point for them where it is right now. That line that they just achieved this morning, I think that was a good spot to get in. And I could be wrong, but man, the Reddit boys, man, they can really make something take off. And JEM, my profit on it today, I'm up $705 on it right now. And we're going to see what ends up happening with it, JEM. But my feeling is that this thing's going to make a move, folks. And when we get to the 1 day, I'm going to show you what it's doing right now. There it is, folks, right there. JEM. JEM. And what number it's got to get above right now is going to be right here. And if it gets over this line, I'm telling you, folks, if the 5 day can get over that line, if the light blue line surpasses this line, then it's going to rise to this point right here. If it passes that line, it's going to here. If it passes that line, it's going to go to here. And if it passes that one, it's coming up to this number. So what you should know is there's already been resistance here before at this number right there. So you should sell a little of this stock when the 5 day average gets to that line. You should sell just a little of it and expect a little bit of pullback off that line, folks, just a little drop. But watch this, and when it gets to there, and even here, this is a line of resistance. So even at this stage, this would be a place to sell a couple of your shares at 340 to 350 and try to buy back at 333 or 331 or 325 or 320 even. But watching this stock right now, if it breaks over this line without retracing back down any, then it's going to go to this line here. And when it gets to that line, which is 354 a share, when it gets to 354, the 5 day average gets there, then you should sell. And the price will probably be around 366 or so by then. Okay. That's what I think. And I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I do not believe I am incorrect. I believe this thing is going to make a nice move. It's going to be a fun day trader today. JEM. All right, let's get on over and look at the rest of these. In case you're joining me late, these are the stocks that have been called out today to look at. And there's a lot. So these are the stocks that have been called out today, just so you're aware. And we're going to take a look at all of them. JEM is just one of them. Next, and I'm going to have to put that down here. And in regards to JEM, I got 32 votes. Did you sell JEM when it was in the high 10s and low 11s? 16% of my viewers said yes, they did. Good. Well, I think this might be a place. And you can see they're trying to make this 5 day stop at this line. And that's why I just said, hey, right now you should sell just a couple of shares here. Yep, and there they pull it back, just like clockwork. Exactly like they should do. And look at it now, 337. And I tell you, the buy's going to be 333, 331, maybe even lower, maybe 325. maybe 320. But that would have been a good place to sell a few shares right when that 5-day got up there to that line of resistance. Then we'll see it rebound, and then it's going to come up to here, 354, 354, right? And a little sell there at 354. Then it's going to come up to 361, little sell there and pull back. All right, let's take a look at LHAI, called out by Jayhawk. Okay, that one is not looking real appealing to me. Let's look at the 20-day. Okay, so I see why that now. That changes the perspective. See why you got to step out and look away from a distance at it? You can't just be there tied on it looking at the 1-day chart. That doesn't tell you enough. This tells you there's a triple upside crossover that just happened yesterday, and now they're trying to smash it down with a peckerhead. There he is, Woody the Woodpecker, pecking away on the 50-day. Good place to get a couple of shares. I notice this light blue 5-day stopped right there, and I wonder why. So I come over here and I make a mark right here at that line, and I wonder why the 5-day average stopped right there. So I'm going to put a line right here, and now I want to run out to a bigger term chart. I'm going to go out to a 180-day chart. And now I see the relevance of that line. It goes way back in time, way back in time. And that line is at what number here? Hold on. That line is at $2.34. So let's just run it all the way out here and look at 234 and see where that falls. Okay. So right there, folks. Now, you might notice something from this line right here. From this line, this price has shot up to here. Okay? Right up there. Right there. And I'm going to put a line there so you'll know where you should sell this. And that is right there is one sell point. The next one's here. There you go. But yeah, I mean, this thing fell in an after hours session and then pre-market. I mean, look at that on low after hours and pre-market. Look at that thing fall. In 8 hours time, folks, this thing fell in low volume after hours and pre-market. Wow. Look at that drop from 484 all the way down to 235. And by the way, that's the number. If you look at the 1-day chart right now, that's the number where they just stopped it right there. See that? I mean, they put the brakes on it right there. There, twice they tried after it. And man, then the big vaggie, then another vag, LHAI. But, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm here to try to teach you is that when a stock goes up and you see the 5-day average stop at that line, go ask yourself just why did they stop it there? What is the relevance of that number to the past? And then if you take it out to the 180-day chart, it becomes visible. It becomes visible. You can look at it and you can say, okay, so they just stopped it from going over that price right there. They just stopped it the 5-day right there. Why? Well, because from here, this thing's a rocket ship. There may be a little bit of a dip right there, a little move, but then from there, it's just right up, folks. I mean, there is just a huge gap here and here. There's a huge gap here, folks. Listen, when a stock falls this fast through a certain range, it creates a gap. There's another one from here to there. Okay. So there's two gaps on this stock now. One from 484 up to 630, and there's another one from 316 up to 484. So those are your two gaps right now. And notice just now as this stock started to take off, they stopped that 5 day right there at that line. Hold on, I'm going to go to the 1 day and you can see where they stopped it. Right there, right up there is where they stopped it. Right on that line, because they knew, man, if it breaks over that resistance right there, man, this thing could really rock it. They know that, man. They already know that. Believe you me, they know that. They know that. They're not dumbasses. They can look at the chart like I can. They can look at the 180-day. They can see. They can see how fast it fell from up here down to there. They see that, and they know that that is danger, danger, danger. So as soon as it got there once, they stopped it there. And then here again, they stopped it on that line because they know if it goes beyond that line, you're talking rocket ship, baby. Okay. And I'm showing you guys so you know too. If the 5 day average comes up over this line, this thing's on its way. It's on its way. It's on a breakout. Okay. And I could be wrong, but I don't think so. And this is the reason that it's actually getting smashed down so hard because it's a triple upside crossover now on the 180-day chart. You got the current price, you got the 10-day orange line, and you got the 50-day breaking over the 200. Of course, they're going to smash that down, smash it to the 10-day, and then off it goes. I'm telling you, folks, this looks good to me. LHAI closed at 274. Now they're trying to get a 166 bid, and they just raised the bid to 167. Yep, they just raised the bid and the ask, both just raised. But yep, now the bid is 166 and the ask is 167. LHAI. And now you know why they stopped it this morning at the price they stopped it at. Now you can see why on the 1 day chart. Now you can see why it was so important for them to stop it at that line and pull it way down here to 166, Savannah. Yep. 166 bid now, 167 ask. I like it. Good call out, LHAI. And I'm going to say buy now at 166. Buy it. Just a few shares. Buy 50 shares of it, folks. Cost you $75 or so. 166. And watch and see what it does. And the bid is 166 and the ask is 167. And again, I'm telling you, if this uh price can get over 235 a share, it could really, really make a very, very significant move. Now, they could come out even harder out of the gate and run it down even more. So be careful with this. I'm not telling you to buy tons of it. I'm just telling you, I think it's a good buy at 166. And from the 166 buy, the sell is at $2.08. The sell is at 206, 7, and 8. From a 166 buy, you can also sell first 197, 198, 199, and $2 because they're not going to let it just fly over $2. Okay. Once it gets to two, they'll pull it back to 193 or 188. And they'll try to, you know, fleece it out before it goes over two. But the first, again, you should sell. If you buy the 166, I would sell it at 160, 197, 98, 99, $2, 201, 202, 203. And then from 203, then they're going to pull it back down. They're not going to let it steamroll over $2. Okay. It won't happen most likely. But there you can see the bid is now 166 and the ask is 167. And I think it's a good buy there. LHAI. All right. Next, USDE. And again, when you look at the high on this stock already this morning, you put a marker right here at this very persistent high. Why did they try so hard, so hard, so hard, so hard to keep it under that line, to keep it under that? Well, take it back again to the 5 day now and look at that. Ah, there it is over here. Look, it never stopped there before. Let's look at the 10-day chart. Huh. Well, number one, this stock has not been trading over 10 days. It must have just opened up recent. USDE must have just started 4 days ago. They must have just started trading 4 days ago because I can't go beyond. I'm trying the 10-day chart and I don't see it. But right here now, when you look at this 1 day chart and you see this resistance line that's right here, you can see it's very clear. That 1 day line resistance right there on the 1 day, but then take it back to the 5 day, and you can see it never had any resistance at this number before at all. It never had any resistance. When it came out of the gate, this thing shot up and went through that and came down through that without stopping ever. And now they've decided to make this the stopping point. Interesting, huh? And again, from there, you can see there was nothing. This is another illustration of a gap. Look at the gap right here. There's something falls this fast, it creates a gap, ladies and gentlemen. So there's a gap from here to here. And to prove that there's a gap, look what happened when they got it from there. Look at that. Let's see how easy it falls because there's a massive gap there, folks, that they've already created. And that gap is right here. They created on the fall. Then here they created it again on the rise. Then here it is again on the fall. And there's just a big gap between here and there, and here and there, and here and there, and here and there. Just a big gap, folks. The question is, are they going to bring it all the way back down here again to this number? You never know. But that number, the buy would be at 288, folks. 288. USDE. USDE. And there has been a heavy, heavy line of resistance in the past on this dropping right there. Okay. Right there. Heavy, 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 heavy line of resistance. And look where they just dropped the price to right there in the pre market. And that's the 5 day line that's getting resistance there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So when it's resistance to a rise, resistance to the rise, resistance to the rise, resistance to the rise, that becomes resistance to the low. It becomes resistance to the drop. Okay. Resistance to the rise, resistance to the rise. Now resistance to the drop is probable right there. So I actually like it at 388. It's a good number to buy. 388, folks. And I would again not go heavy. I'd go in very lightly. But the bid is 387, and that's green. And now the bid just went to 390, and the ask is 391. Now the ask is 392 and rising. So USDE, that looks like a good spot right there for USDE. And I'm going to say buy three. It was a good buy at 388, but even now it's at 390. So I think it's a good buy at 390. And that was at 8:43 a.m. Okay, and I think that there's a very large gap from here right back up to this, at least this range, and here. So now you got a line here and you got a line here of resistance. And if this 5 day comes back up and breaks this, it's going to go up to right here. And if it breaks that, it goes to here. And if it can break over that, it jumps up to this number. And that is your 5 day moving average on EUSDE. Okay, that's called out by Jayhawk. Now DSY. And man, these charts all look so similar, don't they? Good Lord, every one of them. Just a big old pecker head on every one of them. Yeah, just a big old woodpecker pecking down on the 50, on every one of them. Break it below the 200, just below the 200. Well, I like it here. And look at the number again, 388 bid, 396 ask. 388 bid, 390 ask. 388, folks. I like that number. DSY. I'm just going to say I like it. Buy at 388. I'm sorry. Yeah. And this thing was at 6.99 a share yesterday afternoon and after hours. So I like it at 388. Buy at 388. And that is at 8:44 a.m. Now let's take a look at this on a 20-day chart. Oh wow, it's been much higher, folks. $19. Oh my gosh. And then one, two, then up to what? $9.24. And then this run up to is looks like it hit 6.99, $7. Well, I tell you what, somebody has the power to run it from $19 all the way down to 370. Now they're at 386 bid, 392 ask. All right. Well, I think a 388 might be a good safe place to get just a few. Next, we're going to look at SURG. These are all called out by Jayhawk this morning. SURG, but DSY. Wow. Uh, why did they go for this number as the low? Let's take a quick peek. Why do they want that number? Let's look at the 5-day chart. Uh, it never stopped there before. You see that? This thing never spent any time at all at that price. It never spent any time at all there. And interestingly enough, they drop it right down here to the 200-day just so they can say they bought it on the 200 because it never stopped here before, ladies and gentlemen. And so an interesting place for them to make the bottom now here. I think it's a good buy point, okay? DSY. Bid is 386, ask is 387. And curiously, why did they take it to this number, 379? And they actually had it just below that, as you can see. It was really below it just a little bit. But why? Why there? Why stop there? Why stop dropping it at 372? And by the way, for those of you that don't know how this channel works, I have a buy sell sheet, and that number right there is a buyback number. It says buyback right there in the middle of the screen. Buyback right there, 72. 72 is one of my buybacks. 72, 73. And lo and behold, they ran it right down there, and that price is 372. All right, and this is DSY. DSY never stopped in this range before, ever, when it was running up. This is a big old gap from here up to there, and from there down to here, and from here back to there. There's a gap here, folks. And when it gets up to this price, if the blue 5-day returns to this region, you should sell it right there. Okay. When the blue, that's this blue line, gets there, you should sell it as well. Okay. So the first place you're going to sell some is right here. And that price is going to be at 508, folks. Trust me, you want to sell 506, 7, and 8. All right. I'm telling you, don't wait till it gets to that number 511. You want to get out at 508. I promise you. You want to get out at 506, 7, and 8. Right there. Right there. That's the number, Savannah. That's the number right there. 508. And you really should start selling before it even gets to 5. You should sell it at 497, 498, 499, and 5. Because when it hits 5, they're not going to just let it steamroll over $5, people. When it gets to 496, 97, 98, 99, and 5, 501, then 502, then they stop it. They don't let it go anymore. They're going to pull it back down to 488 or 472, 466. 455. I'm telling you, folks, they're not just going to let it bulldoze straight over $5. So you need to sell the 496, 97, 98, 99, and 5, 501, 502, 503. Sell them because when they get to 503, they're going to pull that thing down to 497 minimum. 492, 488 is often seen. 482 is often seen. 483. Okay. I know what I'm talking about, folks. They're not just going to let it roll right over $5. It isn't going to happen. Okay. Now, I know there's a lot of other stocks that have been called out here, and I'm going to try and look at them all. These are the stocks, if you're joining us late, these are the stocks that have been called out today. And I like them. I like them so far, everyone I've looked at. And we're going to try to look at all these. All right. All right. And I'm going to take a quick glimpse back now at JEM because I know people are in that. There she goes. Very nice. Came right off that line, and she is progressing nicely upwards now. JEM. And don't you get the wrong idea. There's still a lot of Reddit boys on this stock watching this. They're very bullish on this stock. All right. The Wall Street Bet folks, they're bullish on this thing. Super bullish. Okay. And this thing could easily run back up. And like it did last night, it was up 47% in after hours last night. And many of my viewers actually sold this stock yesterday morning when it was in the high 10s and the low 11s. And now buying back this morning, I said you could get in this morning, and the price was at 308 this morning. 308. And look how it came off of 308, Savannah. You see that number? Look at the bottom number, the white number there. 308. And I got on here and I said, that's a great place to buy this, folks. That is a great place to buy it after selling it in the 10s and 11s yesterday. And now it's at 378 bid, 379 ask. And you can see there's a lot of buyers coming in versus sellers. Way more. Almost twice as many buyers as sellers here. A third more buyers than sellers here. And this is the first place where they've started outselling the buyers. But now that's gone too. Look, the buyers just overtook the sellers again on this candlestick. So there's a lot of interest on this stock, ladies and gentlemen. Still, don't think that they've cast aside all interest. There's interest in it. They're talking it up. The boys on Wall Street Bets are highly positive on this. They're very bullish on this stock. And JEM, we've already seen how fast they can make it fall. And I told you yesterday, hey, when it was in the 10s and 11s, I said they could take this thing into the red. And they actually did. It was up 130%. And by the end of the day, they had it in the red. And I told you that they could do that. And because they've already proven they can do it. The history of this stock proves that they can do whatever the hell they want to this stock. You can clearly see how easily manipulated this stock is, and they can make it do whatever they want. They can run it up $1.50, they can run it down $1, they can run it up $4, they can run it down $5, they can run. I'm telling you, folks, they can do whatever they want with this stock. And I told you this yesterday when we sold it in the morning right here. I said, be ready for them to take this thing down into the red. And they sure did. They took it into the red. They took it red yesterday. They took it red. And before the market closed, it was down 2.5%. And then as soon as the market closed, the thing shot up and went up 45% yesterday afternoon after the market closed. 10 minutes after the market was closed, this thing was up 45%. And I know some of you bought it yesterday afternoon late with me. You were buying with me. And then in the after hours, the damn thing shot up 45%. So this thing can move quickly. Here's what it's doing right now. You can clearly see it on the chart. This is what it's doing right now. And we want to see this candlestick wick get shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. And in fact, I want to change this time frame. And instead of 30-minute candlesticks, let's take this to just 1-minute candlesticks. Ah, that looks way better. Oh, yeah. And again, folks, this line here has been resistance once and twice. And this third time, it's actually broken over that line of resistance. Now they're just trying to pull it back to this line, but folks, it goes over that line. It's going to go up to here. This is the line it's going to go to next. All right. And look how they hit that line. But I'm telling you, this 5-day right now, it's going to here. And if it breaks that line, it's going to spike up to right here. And you can clearly see this is a line where they've just been all over it right there, all over it right there, that line. So I'm watching JEM, folks, JEM. That's the stock. Looks to me like it's making a move right now. There's a little pullback effort right to that line and then up and beyond this one now it's going JEM. And you can see all the lines of resistance that are going to be coming down the pike. And we'll see if they are lines of resistance or if it just bowls right over these lines. So I'm going to put more lines of resistance in because it should stop right there. It should stop right here. If it doesn't, then it's going to go even higher. Yep. It should stop right here, right there. If it doesn't stop right there, it's going to go even higher. The next place it should stop is right there. If it does not stop there, it's going to go to there. And if it can break over this number, then we see a nice move. We see a real nice move. Now, over here, you can already see there's a big gap they got from there to there. So there's a big gap right there already that could easily just fly right back up through that. Okay. There's a big gap there. And they've already fleeced this out. Fleecing, 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 herking, jerking, herking, jerking, herking, jerking, herking, jerking. So this is all fleeced out through here. So usually, once you see it break this line and go up to this, if it gets over this one, folks, it could easily jump all the way up. It could make a nice jump, just like the way they dropped it from here to there. All right. Just to let you know, if this price gets over here, don't be surprised to see it spike all the way up to there because it fell that fast without any accumulation. In an after hour market, it fell that fast. In a low volume after hour environment with low volume, that's how fast it fell. And that price right there, the next line of resistance is right there. And that price is $4.55. Then your next line and last line of resistance is there. There'll be one more line of resistance right here. All right, so watch it rise, folks. JEM, JEM, triple upside crossover right now on this 10-day chart. That means the current price has just crossed over the 200 rising, and the 50-day has just crossed over the 200 on the rise. Interesting, huh? Triple upside crossover of the 200-day on the 10-day chart. And the stock I'm showing you here is JEM, JEM. And I like it right here. All right, next we're going to take a look at uh, SURG, called out by Jayhawk. SURG. Yep, I like the look of that. SURG. Already achieved a price of 70-cent high, though. And then they drove it down from 70 cents to 55 cents. So a 15-cent drop from here at 666. I know that's hard to believe, Savannah, but there it is. There's the price. 0.666. Yeah, I know. I know. It really seems hard to believe, but yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, that is the price where they decided to stop it. And they stopped it there once and twice and three times and four and five times, then back down. So guys and gals, if you're going to buy this stock right now, one of the numbers you should be thinking about selling is right here for sure. All right. If you get it now, this is the first number you want to sell right there. Then the second number you want to sell is going to be right here. And the third number you want to sell is there. Then there. Now, I'm using only these 5-day average lines. And I'm telling you, look how many times they hit that line and stopped it and made it fall. So you should sell some there. Okay. And that price is at 65.53. Well, let's just put it 66 cents. You should sell it at 60, buy it back at 55. Then after the 60 sell and the 55 buyback, then sell it at 63, 64, 65, 66. Sell it there, folks. And then you're going to get a pullback. I don't know how much, but that's a sell. All right. And that is when the blue 5-day reaches that line. There's going to be a nice move, though, on this. If it does get over 666, folks, it jumps all the way up to 67.95 and then up to 69. And this has got plenty of upwards room ahead of it still. I mean, a lot, looking back at its past. So right now, SURG closed at 41. Now it's sitting at bid 58, ask 58.09. And the ask just dropped to 58.03. So they're trying to chisel at it right now, still even. But that's SURG, called out by Jayhawk. And looking at the 20-day chart on it, let's see what that looks like. Well, there you go, folks. They're trying to kiss the ET right now. It's plain and simple. Triple upside crossover on this stock, surge. Golden cross, they call it. That's a golden cross. And right now, folks, the time is 9:02 in the morning. And now 9:03, 27 minutes from the bell ringing. That's SURG right there. I provide, you decide. Looks like they're still going to try and run it down and maybe try to get it to around the 50-day, which would be about 55 cents. I know you don't think it could go that low, but yep, 55 is my call for the low, and maybe even 50, 52. Who knows? But they've run it up big. They can run them down big. You already know that, how big they can run them down. You learned that yesterday with JEM. So there's the 1-day chart on SURG. There's the 1-day chart on it, SURG. Next, LIMN. Okay, there's LIMN. Looks like a good day trader, bro. 11 cents up to 17 to 12.8 to 19 to 14. So you're seeing 4-cent drop, 5-cent drop. Okay. And that's those are big percentages, folks. Those are for a penny stock that's trading in this range. Those are big moves, folks. From 12 cents up to 17 cents. That's a 5 cent move on a 12-cent stock. And that's a lot of profit right there. So this looks good. I like it for a day trader. LIMN. And it closed at 11 cents, 11.48, and it's now at 15.64, 15.7, and now 15.66 and 15.7. And that's LIMN. Okay. Next, YRD. These are all called out by Jayhawk this morning. And that one looks good there. Right now, that looks real good. YRD with a triple crossover of the 200 occurring right now. YRD. Now, that being said, I'm a seller at this number on my buy sell sheet. You can see that 138 it reached last night in after hours. Why? YRD. What's the news? Announces new 20 million share repurchase program. Yesterday afternoon at 5:35, they announced a new 20 million share repurchase program, and their stock shot up to 138. 138, okay? YRD, 20 million. Authorizes new share repurchase program to repurchase up to 10% of total issued and outstanding shares for up to 20 million over the next 12 months. Okay? Amounts to 10% of all shares. All right? And that's the move on YRD. And again, unfortunately, I would have just sold it at 106.7 and 8. I just saw it at 108, 106, and that is a number for me to sell. So I wouldn't buy this right now. Look for a buyback in the 92 to 93, maybe even 88 range. But this would be a sell for me. This is on my buy sell sheet. If you look on the buy sell sheet, you'll see right up here at the very top, it says to sell 105, 106. And it just hit those prices. Your buyback can be as low as 78, 82, 83, 89, 93, 94, or 97. But I would sell. Unfortunately, I would have sold just then at 106. And that is this stock YRD, ladies and gentlemen. That might end up being a good day trader. They announced a 20 million share buyback. That's 10% of all shares outstanding. Next, EVCM. And by the way, let's look at this on a 20-day chart here. So this stock has been falling and falling like a falling knife, like dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. 200-day dropping and falling and falling. So I don't know. It's still long-term lines are all falling except for the 50 and 45 right there that just made a move to the upside. So watch out with this one, folks. I can see here if this becomes a red belly blue back, meaning the dark blue 45 crosses over the red 50, that would be a good move. But we need to see that happen. And the 10 days rising, the 5-day is the only one that's pitching downward here right now at the open. And this thing is consolidated, and the news is good. 20 million share buyback. We'll see what it does. YRD. Next, EVCM. EVCM called out by Jayhawk this morning. Triple upside crossover just got fully completed. It took 3 days for that to happen. 3 days for a triple crossover to occur. Now we're looking at the 1 day. And yeah, they're going to bring this down, pinch it down. They'll probably come down to 1033, 1037, 1038. Be careful with that one, okay? Be careful with that one. I see the bid is 1045, the ask is 1065, so there's a 20-cent gap between the bid and the ask. But I'd be very, very, very cautious on that one, EVCM. And let's take a look at the 180-day chart on that. Man, oh man, listen, that's a swing trader, folks. Buy it at 976, wait 2 weeks, sell it at 1266. Buy it back at 984 a week later, and then sell it a week after that at 1210. And then buy it back a week later at 1082 and sell it a week later at 1250. Then buy it back 10 days later at 915 and then sell it 3 days later at 1207, 1208. Then buy it back a week later at 947 and then sell it at 1155, 1156. And that's just 8 days later. And then 10 days after that, buy it back at 858. And 5 days later, sell it here at 1099. It's a sell right now, my friend. It's a sell point right now. Sell that baby. Get out. Get out. Get out. You can see the pattern and what they're doing with it. It's time to sell it right now. EVCM. That's my call. Sell. And buy it back when it's down around $8.60. Buy at 860. All right, EVCM. Next, BMNR. Looking at BMNR. In case you're joining us late, these are all the stocks that have been called out. These are all the stocks. Thank you, C. Richard. These are all the stocks that have been called out today, and I'm trying to get to them all. I'm just at BMNR right now. So I've been kind of going slow, but I'm trying to get to them all. And I can't stay with you today, folks. I'm going to the dentist. And I like BMNR right there, folks. BMNR. Looks like a good buy every time they drop it just below the 200 day, just below the 200 there. BMNR. Now, I'm not saying to buy a whole boatload of this. It's something you want to wade into, folks. Wade in with a bid of 1459 and the ask of 1460. Both of those numbers are green, and the number looks like it might keep climbing. Let's take a look at the 20-day chart on this. And it certainly has been washed out over the last 28 days. And the low 1280 and 1282 looks good right there. And if it breaks over this line, it could go up to this price right here, and you would want to sell some when the blue line, when the blue 5-day reaches this line right here. And the next line you want to sell is there for sure, right there. Absolutely, you want to sell there. Okay, you want to sell some for sure at 1550 a share or they're approaching. And 1508 Savannah, look at that bottom 1508. So when the blue 5-day average reaches this number right there where it touched it when they dropped it to right there, you want to sell this stock whatever the price is. When the blue 5-day average hits that line, and then when it gets up here, you want to sell it again at 1547, 48, 49, and 1550. Look for a pullback from there, and then it'll go up to this number right here, right there. And that number is 1593. Then it'll come up to this number, and that number is 1613. Nice. 20-cent pop from 1593 to 1613. 1613. 1613. 1613, folks. They love that number. 1613. 1613. 1613. All right. Anyway, I'm just showing you the numbers you should sell as it rises. All right. And that's looking good right now. I like it. BMNR with a bid of 1461 and ask 1462. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here in about 30 seconds, it is going to be 9:16 and 8 seconds. Please do me a favor. And if you like this, like it at the same time at 9:16 and 8 seconds. And let's see some love here in between now and then. If you wouldn't mind filling the tank with some love, ladies and gentlemen. And here we go. We're going to do it at 9:16 and 8. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hit that like button right there. And also, don't just hit the like button, but to get even more algorithmic moves, hit the save button right here. Hit the save. Okay? So hit the like and hit the save at the same time. Yep. And what's good for today? Well, we've got our eyes on all these stocks today. And I've been looking over every single one of them, and I really kind of like the looks of all these that I've been looking at. They're setting up nicely to make nice moves. And one of them I thought was a buy was DSY at 388. That was at 8:44 a.m. And I also thought USDE was a buy at 390 a share at 8:43 a.m. Now you can look and see how those have been doing. Uh, who is Savannah? Well, we don't know. And the thing is, Scuban McDubin says, "Who is Savannah?" Um, we don't really know who Savannah is, and Savannah doesn't even know who Savannah is. Savannah was born with a male body, but thinks he's otherwise. And so goes by the name Savannah and is a big time catfish doubter. And one day Savannah come in. Uh, One day Savannah came in here in the tank, and I was showing this buy sell sheet that I have here, and I was showing this to Savannah, and I was telling the numbers that you should sell at and the numbers that you should buy. And I was particularly talking about the number 66 on that day. And I was telling everybody and showing everybody that this was a key number to sell. And also the number 08 at any number. It can be 708, 808, 1008, 1108. Well, Savannah said that I was full of crap and that these numbers like 31 and 32 and 33 didn't mean a thing. I was just looking for them, Savannah said. I was just looking for them, and that's why they were apparent. But every time I see those numbers, I mention that person's name. Prince Cash says 1,000 says, if you had to pick which one, which would you pick? Well, we don't know yet. We've got a lot more to look at still. We're going to look at them all, and the ones that I'm going to pick are going to be the best looking to me. And one of them right now would be this stock here, BMNR. BMNR. This is one that I would nibble at 1464 a share. Now, also, I want to look at JEM. Enter. JEM. And I want to look at the 1-day chart on this. And this is another one that I would suggest you pick up just a few shares right here at this line, because this stock is going to bounce off this line of 342 a share. And right now you can see the bid is 347 and the ask is 349. And JEM could go all the way to $8 or $10 and do it in just minutes. Okay. This happens to be a stock that is on the list of all the eyes of the Wall Street bets guys. And another stock that I like a lot this morning was just called out, YRD, that just announced a 20 million share buyback. YRD, here's the chart on YRD. I'll show it to you now. Just announced a 20 million share buyback. And after that announcement, the price jumped up to $1.38. Okay. And now they ran it down and nutsacked it at 96 cents. $1.38 to 98. So 42-cent drop. And then this is the rise on it right now. And the stock is called YRD. Now, I would put my buy orders in on this at 98, 99, and a dollar one. Okay. Because I don't believe they're just going to let it completely steamroll right over $1. Now, again, it was already at $1.38, so this might be a good place even here to pick some up right now. But this is a triple upside crossover on this news of this company doing 20 up to $20 million worth of shares being bought back, which would be 10% of the shares outstanding. And the company's made an announcement that they're going to try to do this. All right. And that is buy back 10% of the shares outstanding. Okay. So that's what's going on with YRD, everybody. YRD. The next one we're going to look at is SDOT. Someone said it would have been a great buy last night in the after hours. And let's see why. Oh, yeah. Look at them dropped SDOT down to 5809. 5809. It closed at $72 and they drove it down to 5809 in the after hours. And now the price is at what? $80. Oh my gosh. Hey, be careful, folks, because those that bought this thing up, they can take a short position and they can sell them all dang day long. I'm telling you, folks, be careful. All right? Be careful. Be careful, everyone. Watch out for that one. SDOT. Okay, now AIRJ. Wow. It's jumping around like a pair of tennis shoes. Air Jordan 512, 538, 520, 537, 520, 537. Well, put a buy order in at 520. The bid is 525 and the ask is 540 right now. The bid is 525 and the ask is 540. AIRJ, that's the stock, Air Jordan. AIRJ. And as for any news on that company, just on the 30th, it's not Air Jordan. It's called Air Joule Technologies. Air Joule Technologies are trading higher after the company unveiled full-scale Air Joule Prime system at its Newark, Delaware manufacturing facility. Air Joule shares jump after unveiling of industrial water generation system. All right. That's what's going on with this stock. It closed at 518. The bid is 525. The ask is 530. I'm not all that impressed with that one. AIRJ. Next, Jeffy Guru calls out BTBT. All right, now that's looking pretty good. BTBT. Now, it has previous resistance of a substantial amount up here at this number. Right here is one, and the second one is here, too. All right. It needs to get above those two lines. And you guys should consider getting in if it goes over 182, 183. All right. But there is big time resistance. You can see a level of resistance right here, even. They've surpassed this level here. This is a critical level to get over because right there you can see the 5-day blue line stopped at that point once and came down. And now it's come down to it and bounced off of it. So that is a critical line. You can see how they stopped it right there. Stop, 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 stop. Last stop. And there she goes. BTBT closed at 177. Bid is 181. Ask is 182. BTBT. Let's go see if there's any news. Shares of crypto linked stocks are trading higher amid a rise in Bitcoin. All right. Let's look at the 20-day chart on this. Yike. Well, now you can see what the importance of those lines that I just put in. Now they become more relative. This one here that I have at 182, boy howdy, you can come back over here. And man, oh man, look at that number resistance right there. 182, folks. This is certainly a number they're common with, isn't it? Oh, yeah. They're very, very, very familiar with this as a drop point and rise, and then another drop point and fall, and then a rise and resistance, rise and resistance, rise, and then rocket up. A point of resistance to the low over here, a point of resistance to the low, and now here they are again on the same freaking line. The same line, folks. Now I'm going to take this line and I'm going to look at it. There it is. And right over there, ladies and gentlemen, look how this thing fell to that line and then rose. Look, these numbers right here, they've done this before. They've done this before, and it's gone up there. Anyway, I'm just looking at it right now. I'm seeing why they've got these two lines of resistance here and how they relate to the past, going back and looking over the last 20 days. How does these lines relate to the past? And notice from below this line, it's made very high moves up. From this line, it's made good moves up. But from this line, the lows have been only that far. And now we're rising to this line again. All right, I'm just showing it to you, folks. You decide. I provide, you decide. There it is right there. There it is right now. BTBT. Bid is 181, ask is 182. And there you go. We looked at it. BTBT. Jeffy Guru called that out. Next, we're going to look at CW. CWD. CWD, baby. Whoa. It already hit a high of 165. And by the way, Savannah, on my buy sell sheet, you can clearly see where I have these numbers, and it says to sell right here 164, 165. How do you like that? That's what it says. Sell 164, 65, 66, up through 170, and then it falls. And so there you go. You should have just sold at 165 and you could have bought it back afterwards at 145, 20 cents less. Now I want to get over here on this stock, JEM, and I'm going to trade this. And I want to sell 200 shares at 355. And I am up today on this $1,117. Now, since I opened the position, I'm actually down 2,800. My dollar cost average is up here at 418, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to drop my dollar cost average. Yep. And right now I'm up $666 on this position today, and I want to buy 333. And that's not going to happen anymore. And how many shares did they have there? 15,000. Well, I see in the pre-market they had it down to $3, 301 it looks like. JEM. Well, that's the end of that. JEM. That was the end of that. It's like the lowest you're going to get right now is going to be 337 on this if you're lucky. And I'm going to try to buy 338 as well. And I just did get a 338. And now she's rocketing, folks. Yep. That's it for the 330s. Now, also, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know I cannot stick around with you this morning. I got to leave here. And I got to be out the door here basically at 10 o'clock. So I've only got a short while to trade with you today. And this is the stock JEM. And there's a lot of Wall Street bets, people, on this stock. Very bullish about this stock on Wall Street bets, just so you know. And that's why now I'm going to start selling here right now. And I'm going to sell 200 here. I'm up 1,139 on it now. And I want to sell the 360. I want to sell 364, 65, and 66. And here we go right now, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to sell 354, 355. Yep. And the Wall Street bets folks are all over this. Here we go, folks. We're going to sell the 354 right now. And I'm selling 200 there. There we go. Let's go, baby. Out the door. I'm seeing a lot of 354s up there. I don't know why mine isn't sold. Yeah, up 1,257 on this position today, right now. Up 1,178. And I'm trying to buy back at 334, 333, 336, 335, and 337 is where I'm trying to buy back right now. And the stock I'm talking about here is JEM. JEM. And the lowest I've been able to buy it this morning so far was 335 and 337. I did get a 338 a couple of times as well. And she's rising up through here. Uh, don't expect this thing to stay in this range because they have not had any shares down here at this price range. They literally have had very few shares to deal with right here already. So I suspect they won't have it here for very long. I don't believe they'll have it here too long. I think it's going to make a nice move. I see here, so the heavy selling was at 344 and 346. Heavy dark areas there, and a lot of heavy dark areas at 372 and so forth. So a lot of heavy selling this at the 372 mark when it got up there. And all I'm trying to do by now, it was 337. I got a buy order at 337. And this is JEM, the stock I'm trading right now. Now, I do want to look over at a couple stocks I called out this morning I thought were good buys. LHAI. LHAI. And now it is at 166. And that's where I thought the buy would be good. 166, I thought would be a good buy on that. And so that's the low, I think, on LHAI. And I just bought some JEM at 336, so they're still going after it. But now another one I want to look at is USDE, which I thought would be a good buy at 390 possibly. USDE. And I see it now at 393. And this stock is up 89% this morning. And I told you I thought it was a good buy when it was at this one here, when it USDE at 843 this morning, it was at 390. So it's still there at 390, and actually now even 388. And I think that might be a good spot there. I don't know for sure, but maybe to pick up a couple of shares. And now we're going to look at DSY, DSY, DSY. All right. And they're still coming at this. DSY, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. They dropped it right there. The 5-day to right there out of the gate. DSY. And I'm watching this one closely. This was called out by Jayhawk this morning. DSY. And I just bought JEM at 335. So they're still coming at JEM. Yep. And I just got a 332 on JEM. Yep. JEM. And I know that the Wall Street Bets people are all over this stock, JEM. And we're going to come in here and try to buy at the low of the day, is where they are. They're at the low of the day right now. See if we can get a 308 buy here. And they were already here this morning in the pre-market at 306, 307, 308. And I just bought 306. And I'm buying the stock JEM at 306. And as I already said, they were already here this morning at 308. And now I got a 313. So that was it. 306 was the low I could get. Now we're buying 313. And now she's at 320, so that didn't last long. And I want to thank you for giving me those buys just then at 308, 306. And now I'm just going to stay below this as it rises, folks. And I'm going to try to pick up every little pullback on this that they try to throw at it. And I believe this stock is going to go much higher now that it just got to those numbers. And I think it's going to go much higher, folks. So I'm going to be trying to raise these buy orders up right underneath this. And as I said, I'm going to try to catch every little breather, every little pullback. And just then I got 312. Very nice. And I'm trying to pick every little drop, every little pullback. There we go. And then all I got to do is start selling at the numbers on my buy sell sheet up here. Okay. And I already know where I'm going to sell. And I'm going to be selling. There we go. And got another order there at 305. Very nice. And I'm trying to get 20 shares only at a time here, 20 at a time. 20 at a time. And I'm going to have to leave here in 20 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you, you market makers that just drove this down again to 308, where I got to fill more shares. And that's splendid. Now let's take it to the limit, man. Let's run it up. Let's go, Wall Street Bets, boys. I know you love this. Let's run it up now. You got your buys. You got your buys there down in the low threes like I did. Now let's run it up. Let's run this thing to the roof. I'm with you, boys. I'm with all you Wall Street Bet boys. I'm bullish on this too. Thank you. 308 again. See that, Savannah? 308, man. They love that number. Proof of it is over here. You can see how many they bought it. 307, 31,000. 308 now they've gotten. Well, they ran out. They just ran out at 308. 15,000 they had there. And then 12,000 they ran out at 309. And then 23,000 they ran out at 310. So they've run out of all those. And the stock I'm buying here is JEM. JEM. JEM is the stock I'm buying. And I just got through picking up a couple hundred shares at 308 and 306, 305, 304, 303. Very nice. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to be raising these buy orders up, and I'm going to be chasing this stock right on up as it rises, folks. And I'm going to stay right underneath it here with my buy orders. Right underneath it here, I'm waiting to buy every little pullback that they try to drop it down. I'm ready to try to buy those. I'm going to try and get those. Every time they try to take it down here again. And notice how they seem content with the 313 right now. They seem very content with the 311, 312, 313. And that's because they're buying. They're buying it all, folks. They're buying all these shares. And I just got 314. Yep. And there she goes. That's the end of that. We're out of the three teens right here. We're going to leave very quickly and go right back up. And pretty soon we're going to be back in the 330s, okay? And this is Catfish Tyler getting ready to say farewell to all of you. I wish I could stay and trade with you all day. But what I can do, and this was suggested by Jayhawk, is create another stream to start. Well, no, because tomorrow the market is closed. Tomorrow the market is closed. But it looks as though I might be, since I'm being able to buy these shares in the low threes right here, that I might be able to sell these in the 4s or 5s later today from my dentist chair again, like I did before. So let's see if we get the same thing happen here. If we get these shares to run out here, which they should, they're just piddly ass amounts over here. They're not even getting to print any numbers like they printed up here. So they're not even printing any numbers. So uh, piddly share counts being accumulated here at these little low prices. Very small amounts. And they're using over here, I'm sure, one share at a time, one share to achieve their goals. And you can even see it over here, folks. Look at the shares accounts. Look at the shares there. 5 shares, 5 shares, 5 shares, 5 shares. They're not using any volume. And look at the buy come in for 1,000 shares at 309.5. They're trying to dump nothing. Now we're jumping up to 311. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Adios to the low threes, the single digit threes. Adios to the single digit threes. That's my call. I say they're gone. And pretty soon you'll see how fast it rises right back up. This stock has the ability to climb very, very rapidly, folks. Once they decide to shut off the share volume, it takes off and away it goes to Moonville. And that is what we're about to witness now. This is going to be the last few shares you can get. If you can get at 311 or 312, watch it go, folks. Watch how fast it's going to rise right back up from these 317s. They've never had diddly squat over here. Juna Hawk, thank you very much. And I'm telling you, they've never had diddly squat in shares over here from 318 up to 324. So watch how fast this rises up to 324 now. Okay? Just watch it go, folks. Watch how fast it rises. And there it goes, folks, right off. And it's not going to stop here, and it won't stop here. And ladies and gentlemen, at 324 a share, they haven't had a single share at 324. Not one share was sold at 324. That goes to show you how thin it is through this area. Not one share at 324. And at 328, they only had 835 shares. So there's no volume here to hold it here, folks. There's no volume to hold it. This isn't going to hold it here, folks. I promise you. Nope, it ain't going to happen. It's going to go right over those numbers. You can watch it rise. Yep. And they still have not achieved a printable number here at all at 319 and 320. They've got to get up to 65,000 shares before they can print a number. What does it say here? 50,000, 53,000. They're not going to get a printable number there. They'd like to, but they won't. Doesn't look like it. And as you can see, my buy orders are waiting down here, just waiting for those chumps to try to take this back down. I'm just waiting on them to every once in a while dump a million shares and make it fall 5 cents, and then it goes right on up. Oh man, I know how they do it. This is how they do it. Oh yeah, come on down here again to 311 where I'm sitting and waiting on you, just waiting on you, waiting on those. Nice. Thank you very much for the 312s you just handed over to me. I'll sell those back to you at $3.47, 48, and 49 in a little while. And I might be in a dentist chair when I'm doing it. Ladies and gentlemen, I got 12 minutes left and I got to get out of here. And I guarantee you, my wife is going to show up and go, "You got to get your butt on the road." Yep, that's what she's going to do. All right. Last call for 314. I just bought the last 314, ladies and gentlemen. And now the dumpers are trying to dump out 315s. So I guess they're going to run out of those as well as they ran out of the 312s and 311s. 310s, 309. Look at the cell phone operators working here. Look at that, all at 4:30, 9:49 and 38 seconds. Look at all those at 9:49 and 38 seconds. The cell phone farm hits again. Nice. Thank you, Sully. I just got the last time. Oh my, I just got 303, folks. 303. 306, I'm sorry. Well, I see 303s over here. I'm waiting for them to come on the screen. There we go. 302. Bring it, Shorty. And I got a 302. Woo! Come on, Shorts. Let's go. Bring it. There we go. Man, oh man. And I just got a 290. Well, they sure did bring it with all their might, didn't they? Gonna show Catfish what they can do. Show the power. 288. Yes. And I just got a bunch of shares at 288 and 289. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Letting me lower my dollar cost average even more. And look at the cell phone farms coming out at 289 at 8:51 and 47 seconds. 8:51 and 54 seconds. And 8:51 and 57 seconds. Look at those dumps. All those dumps just to get to 288. And now we're back over 290, 291 and rising. And I got all I could there. I got all I could there. And by the way, I'm using Charles Schwab Thinkorswim, and this is on a paper money account. And I've been not trading this stock on my real account. I've only been trading it here on my paper money account. I haven't bought one single share of this stock, JEM, with my real money. All this has been with paper money. And boy, howdy, have they really been, whoever's manipulating this stock has just been doing a wonderful job of manipulating the crap out of this stock. They have just done a splendid job of really, really manipulating this stock. And I'm talking from yesterday morning, $11 we sold this for. And now I'm buying it at $2.88. I sold it for over $11 yesterday morning. So, yeah, I'm going to buy more here. I'm sorry, I can't help it. Think it's a good idea to buy a stock that was at $11 yesterday morning where I sold it and now buy it back at 292. I'm just going to do that. I'm sorry, I'm going to do it. I'm going to buy 293, 294, 295. Thank you. Whoever's orchestrating this maneuvers, I'm grateful for you giving me these buys here. Because quite honestly, my dollar cost average was way too high. Now my DCA is at 393. Some of you know my dollar cost average yesterday was over $8 on this stock, and I sold it in the 11s and sold it in the upper 10s and 11s. And you can see it's my main question today. Did you sell JEM when I was selling in the high 10s and low 11s? 18% of my viewers said yes. And now I'd like to know, did you just buy back with me in the 290s? Did you just buy back into the JEM in the 280s and 290s? And that is what I want to ask. So I'm going to stop this question. And ladies and gentlemen, I have 6 minutes left and I've got to go. So I'm going to end this question, this poll that I've got going now. And now I want to start another poll. And did you just buy JEM in the 280s? That's what I want to know. So I'm going to go over here, start a poll. Did you just buy some shares of JEM when it dropped below 290? Okay. That's it. Did you just buy some shares of JEM when it dropped below 290? I'm going to start the poll right now. All right. LIMN and JACK is jacking up. Okay. LIMN. Let's take a look at it. Chart. LIMN. Oh, good, 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 good. This morning I looked that up and I didn't know for sure because they were really kind of working it down and working it down, working it down. And boy, did they turn that around. And I like it that the 5 day is now gone above where the 5 day stopped before. That's important. So that looks very good. LIMN. Congratulations, everybody. Now I'd sell it. I would sell it at 20, 21, and 22. I'd sell it. I'd be selling it there. You guys know that. I'd sell 19. I'd sell 19. I'd sell 20, 21, 22. I'd sell some shares here, up 71%. I'd definitely be selling right there. And the reason why, you can see already they did it once. Man, they're just poking at it again, folks. And you can see this line of resistance on this stock right here. The 5 day was stopped right there previously. The 5 day was stopped right there previously. So we've broken over that 5 day point. And if you look at the 20 day chart on this, oh man, yeah, that line goes way back in time. We had not even seen that number. LIMN. And that price there was at 1888, Savannah. Can you believe that? 1888. Ugh. Let me get over here. There it is. 1888. Oh my gosh, and it didn't stick. Come on, man. There we go. Well, let's go back and look at this on the 180-day chart. Oh yeah. Well, that is a very well known line. 1888, folks. Man, that line has been sustained for the longest period. 5 days there. It dropped to there, dropped to there, dropped to there, dropped to there, dropped to there. Man, this number is very, very, very common. Now we're looking at the 1 day chart on it. And folks, I got to get going here. I wish I could stick around with you, but I got to get on the move. I want to thank you for being here with me this morning. LIMN does look good, but you should have sold it at 20 cents. Okay, that's a sell. 20, 19, those are sells, folks. You know that on my sheet. Those are big sell numbers. The 20's a sell, and the buyback is below is usually 88. And but right there, folks, there's the sell there at the 20. And I'm sorry, that's just where it capped out, and I would have sold it there. LIMN. All right, now I'm going to take a look quickly at a chart, EDBL. EDBL. There it is, consolidating right now here very nicely. EDBL, holding it and bought it right on the 50-day there. Look at that candlestick on that 50 and then rise off that. EDBL, and down 20% today. All right, everybody. I wish I could stick around, but what I'm going to try to do is start my next stream for tomorrow, okay? And sorry, guys, I haven't had a chance to look at all these late call outs. Everybody's been calling out. But Mexi Brown, I see BNRG. Nuvo, I see SOXS. AVEX, Mr. Mexi Brown's calling, and SWMR. SHPH. Now, I can't keep this stream going. Okay. I tried yesterday to do that or 2 days ago, and they shut my stream off. And they won't let me do that. But what I can do is schedule a stream for uh, tomorrow, even though there is no trading tomorrow. I can schedule a stream for tomorrow, and then you guys can chat on that scheduled stream. So I'm going to start another stream that will be scheduled to start tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Even though the market isn't going to open. Okay, tomorrow the market's not going to open, so I'm going to start. I'll schedule a stream for tomorrow at 9:30, so you guys can chat on that stream. Okay, so let me go and do that right now. You guys have a great one. Thank you very much for joining in the channel with me today. I'm sorry I can't stay, but I'm going to go get my teeth fixed, and you guys have a good one. This is the big step towards getting my two front teeth back. Yay! And so that's what I'm going in to do today, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys have a great one. God bless each and every one of you. And I will start another stream scheduled for tomorrow morning. It'll be scheduled to start at 9:30 a.m., even though the market won't be open tomorrow, okay? Then you guys can chat on that scheduled stream. That's what I'm going to do. All right, everybody, I'm going to get on out of here. Thank you very much, Mike Larson. I appreciate it. Nuvo Music, thank you very much. I appreciate it. SHPH is running. All right, good. SHPH, thank you for letting me know. I don't think I have any more of that. Let me see. Oh my gosh, it is indeed. And let me see if I own it. SHPH. Nope, I've sold it all, of course. And it just hit 388. You should have sold there. 388's a sell on that. SHPH. 384, 85, 86, 87, 88. All those are sell numbers. And you guys know that. Make me proud. All right, sell that. All right, I got to get out of here. I'll schedule another stream for tomorrow morning at 9:30. You guys can go and look for it. It'll be scheduled, okay, for tomorrow morning at 9:30. All right, Catfish Tyler, I got to run, folks, quickly. I got to go. I got to be there in less than an hour. Catfish Tyler, over and out.